Congratulations, everyone. We all survived the Chinese rocket, and we're here for another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. Welcome back. We have a great episode for you all today. I know it's something we should be celebrating, but $39 billion also would have been kind of nice. So take what you get. But Mike, how are you doing on this beautiful afternoon?
Oh man, I cannot believe we made it through another week. And I say that with confidence because, you know, it's only Tuesday and yet we haven't hit Friday yet per the recording. But yeah, you know, I'm doing okay, Matt. I think, I think things are starting to pick up again. We're starting to lock it in with some, some of the things personally, both you and I. I don't want to take too much of the spotlight, but Matt has finally been going back and being employed again. And I'm like, dude, you have no idea how happy I was last week when it's like, I couldn't text him because you were at work.
I literally can't explain how happy it was to be back. Like, I was back with the same team. And just seeing like the full-time staff, like people were excited to see me and getting back in the swing of things. It's a little different with COVID protocols and all that stuff. Not a crowded ballpark yet, but we're getting there. And it just felt like so normal. Like usually like before like the first day, like you start a job, you get like a little nervous. Yeah. I honestly just like wasn't even nervous. I was just like, I know the ballpark like the back of my hand, and it just felt so normal. Even though it's like a different job I was doing, it felt like it was just like meant to be.
I think when it comes to the environment, it becomes more comfort than anything, knowing that, you know, if you need something, you know exactly where it is. Like if you need to get in touch with somebody, like you know the person to go to, instead of it's like, well, I just started working here. Let me find a person who knows a little bit more and I'll get back to you. Like you don't have that anymore because you, my friend, are very well versed in the role that you're in, as well as the spot that you're at, as far as
it's a little too kind.
I'll take my acceptance speech. Get the music playing. Cut the music. But I'm happy, Matt. That made me happy this past week. I mean, I was streaming by myself, which was a little upsetting, but you know.
Well, I got it a little later.
Yeah, but, I thought that was cool. I literally, I don't know if you watched the stream, but I hung up. I'm like, that's a good friend. I'm like, I said, get a good friend that would literally still join you even after he worked a long shift and he still wants to stream with you. Like,
you have always been a friend. Always.
Always.
There's an AntMan reference for everything, people. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, Matt, Mother's Day, my parents and I, we got a chance to watch Black Panther, and we saw a little bit of Anchorman 2. And Mom and Dad was half asleep, but Mom and I were cracking up because Mom's never seen the Anchorman movies. So, of course, I was just reciting them line by line. And Mom's like, what? I'm like, I don't know, just say it.
Can you explain how you went from Black Panther to Anchorman 2?
So what was really funny was TBS and not NBC, TNT, other channels. So there was Black Panther. And then there was Thor: The Dark World, Step Brothers was on, and then there was Anchorman 2. So I didn't want, like, Black Panther, this is totally not a topic of a segment. I mean, I'm sure Matt is still yet to get into the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, I think I said I was going to, like, 2 episodes ago, and I just haven't started it. No. Maybe this week.
Maybe. But, all right there, Thor. Or Point Break. You'll find that out later. Okay. So with Black Panther, I thought, okay, this is a good movie where there's not too much synergy between most of the movies. Yeah, there's some synergy between some of the movies, but like you could watch Black Panther without saying like, well, that doesn't make sense. I don't know what they're talking about. Like very much so aligned with you could watch it by itself is what I'm trying to say. I didn't want to watch Thor: The Dark World, even though I have. It's just, there's a lot of stuff. It's the second movie out of the Thor series that I just didn't want to try to explain to Mom, like, oh, this is this. Like, and then Step Brothers was on. Mom has watched Step Brothers, and I'm like, let's watch Anchorman. So
yeah, why not?
There was Anchorman. So
they also did announce Black Panther, the sequel.
Wakanda
I don't know, it's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So I'm very interested. I haven't seen Black Panther yet. I'm going to soon, so I'm excited to see where they go with that.
And then there's Thor: Love and Thunder, I think it is.
Yeah, they announced like a ton of new ones.
Yeah.
Black Widow comes out in July, right?
Yes, Black Widow comes out in July in theaters, as well as a Disney Plus edition, something like that. You could purchase it and you can watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So what was funny, Matt, was today I was with some of my students and they said that they were living in the townhouses next fall. I said, "What townhouse are you in?"
Oh no.
They said 10. And I said, "Well, that's upsetting because I was in 5." And they go, "Well, we were just in that with our other friends." They checked the attic.
Oh, yes, I forgot about the attic.
They saw all of our writing that was on the attic and on the steps. So
forgot about that. Is that all they saw in the townhouse?
Yes, that's all they saw. That I tried asking, and they're like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay." Works for me.
Cool. Hey, that's music to my ears.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of Sugar Daddy Squid, we got a topic for you today. Matt, we are just coming out in the light at the end of the tunnel of the pandemic. Hopefully. Everybody's getting vaccinated. By next week, I will be fully vaccinated, thank God. But we'll have to take a couple weeks in order for me to be fully immune and all my powers will ignite. But, Matt, there's been a lot of COVID costs, I guess is the best way to put it. A lot of stuff to benefit businesses, local communities, the area. But this one place in Japan decided to take their COVID relief funds and decided to put it in a unique spot. This place called Noto, if I'm saying that correctly, located on the west coast of Honshu, is known for its squid fishing. So town leaders decided it'd be a great idea, Matt, to have a huge statue of a tasty cephalopod that could cook up interests for tourists. Cost $200,000 for the squid.
Wait, hold up. So that's a sweet deal.
A statue for $200,000?
Yeah, it's 29 foot. Did you see that statue?
Yeah,
it's a 29-foot statue.
13 high, 29 feet long. But Matt, they used the COVID-19 relief funds instead of funds that were already apprehended to them.
All right, but maybe they have funds that they don't need to spend it all on the necessities. That's a tough word to say.
Necessary necessities.
I'm drinking water. Maybe they're okay financially. They just got this anyway. The quality of that statue is pretty high.
It is. I just don't like the numbers that they had. So Japan recorded 10,499 COVID-19 related deaths and 617,854 cases since the start of the pandemic. Now, of course, we say that number's not big because we're in America. We're always number one. But I just don't like the fact that, they're openly admitting that they're using COVID-19 relief funds to purchase a statue.
So
it's a nice to have instead of a need to have is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm going to take the other side just for the sake of argument. Right. I also think it's cool. So what if they only had 100 cases in that city? What if they weren't actually affected that much from COVID? Mm-hmm. Then maybe they don't like that. What I'm saying, they're okay financially, so they just got gifted an extra $200,000. Also, we don't know if they spent the entire thing. Maybe they got $2 million and they spent the other 1.8 on the important stuff.
I think this boils down to, Matt, another caveat and another direction, a perspective on this is that we'll take a look at our towns, Matt, our local towns, the close, I don't want to say I know your area is pretty rural, and my current living situation is pretty towny, but for us, the people that are living in the area, we're going to be the highest critics, whereas they use this for a tourist attraction, whereas they could have used it for their own good as far as their own town. So they're basically benefiting people outside of the town instead of benefiting the people inside of the town.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. Yeah, I didn't consider that. But if they are a big tourist town, maybe they don't have a lot of townies. I don't think there's many townies in a country like Japan, but maybe they get more of their money from tourists. And maybe seeing that attraction, if they are a big squid fishing area, maybe somehow that statue will bring people there and they'll get more revenue that way.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject, I guess is the best way to say it, because you do want to return to some type of normalcy. You know what I've been saying? A usual, like if I want to say like a usual semester, like because there's never going to be a new normal again, but it's somewhat usual. Like
business as usual.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
Like we're going to add the funny in front of it and you got yourself a podcast. Funny business as usual. But I think these people, I guess these locals are upset because, you know, I think if you had the money to support not the COVID cause, I hate to call it the COVID cause, but like to support that relief in small businesses or all that, you decide, hey, we're going to purchase a statue that not necessarily is required for the town, but just it looks bad to me.
Yeah, I think I'm just okay with it because the statue just looks cool. Like, if it was a bad statue, like that Cristiano Ronaldo bust when he got in, like, if it looked like that, yeah, then it's a bad look. This is pretty awesome. Oh, wow, that's a... Wow, I'm not going to say that. All right, never mind. I'm just going to bypass that.
You have to tell me after the pod.
Yeah, I will tell you after the podcast. There. Holy crap, fellas. Yeah,
I feel like you have to. I feel like you have to say it.
No, I disavow.
Is there any way that you can tie it in a way where it's appropriate for the podcast, but like it's PG? But like
it's just an awesome statue. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh,
yeah, it's just a good statue.
Oh man. Well, that's on over to Japan, but we're gonna hop, skip, and a jump on over to Britain. Actually, well. What? Yeah, Great Britain. Yeah, that's. I think. Yes. Oh, God damn it, geography.
The UK.
The UK. Here we go. We're hopping on over with some fish and chips, y'all. Matt, we're hopping on over to a tourist attraction. Believe it or not, a 213-foot summit, Matt. 213 feet. What do you think of when you think 213 feet?
I think of a high fly ball to left field.
Okay.
And there's a deep drive by Castellanos, and that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
I was thinking of about 20 basketball hoops. 21 actually. 21 and a third. So to give that perspective, pretty tall. Matt, would you be able to walk down 213 feet with no harnesses or no safety?
Like straight down?
Straight down. Like, obviously there's footing. Like, it's not like a dead dip. Like,
not like a jump.
It's angled.
Okay. I'd be very nervous, but I think, is there a railing?
I don't think so.
All right, then I'm out. I'm gonna opt out of that.
So this is what happened to a couple of thrill-seeking riders on the quote big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. They had to be escorted off by foot. The big one was the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world when it opened up in 1994. So it is still the tallest, Britain's tallest roller coaster. Matt, do you know the tallest roller coaster in the world?
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's probably around like 450 feet.
456 feet. You're correct.
Oh, wow. Okay. Damn.
It is the King Dakar, which is at the Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey.
I'm familiar.
If you haven't seen it, it looks massively large and scary. So what they were required to do was they were stuck in terms of different measurement, 15 stories up, and they had to walk down. So much so that the park charges a fee for a tour that takes tourists to the top via steps. So I guess they were basically not getting charged to go downstairs, and they ended up going down just the railing to get down to a safe spot.
Yeah, this is, I think we talked about this in one of the earlier episodes. I'm not a big roller coaster guy. This is why, because there's just too many instances of them breaking down, or like I'm terrified of like being on a roller coaster going super fast and like a wheel popping off or something. This is just why I don't like roller coasters. I mean, they can be fun, but I feel like the danger kind of outweighs the fun, and like this is one of those reasons why. Because I just couldn't imagine the fact like getting stuck up there and then not knowing what to do, and then you find out you have to walk down like 200 feet. That's crazy. I couldn't imagine it.
I've seen videos. I mean, of course, you see videos that circulate over social media and YouTube more specifically. But you ever see those YouTube videos of like Disney rides like breaking down, and especially Space Mountain, I think it is?
I hate Space Mountain with a passion.
So I only rode that once, and it was a great experience. But there's been times when it's broken down and they had to turn on all the lights, and you are not totally aware of how close the railing to the next level, like you're moving around and around and it goes above, how close it is to you. Like, it's a pretty scary thought if you think about it.
Yeah, no, this Space Mountain is terrifying. Like, I went on it once, screamed, cried the entire time. It was awful experience. I 10 out of 10 do not recommend, or 0 out of 10 do not recommend.
I forgot that you don't like roller coasters, and I remember us talking about, we got to get you to a roller coaster that like I got comfortable with as far as a loop, and then being able to get on just a regular roller coaster. Yeah,
it's one of those things where like I'm older now. Like I haven't been to an amusement park in years. It's been a long time. I haven't been to Disney since I was in 3rd grade, and like I feel like now that I'm older, I might enjoy it a little more, because when I was a little younger, I was very much scared of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might enjoy that now. But like at Dorney Park, the local amusement park by me in Allentown, they do have this ride. I forget the name of it right now, but it's like super high. It's probably similar to like this height. It looks terrifying. Like you go up super slow and you get to the top, and you're like a worm going over, and then you just go straight down. And I feel like I would just throw up immediately.
So I'd like to make a correction. So the big one, the roller coaster, they actually charge people for a tour to walk up the world's tallest roller coaster. So it's harness and all, hard hat. Like, it's part of the attraction where they're able to walk up the world's tallest roller coaster on the ride. They charge people for that.
Why would you walk it when you can just ride it?
Some people want the thrill of walking up. Some people want Mount Everest. Some people want the big one in Great Britain.
I mean, hey, if your Fitbit is like telling you to get more steps, that's a good reason why. My Apple Watch, I was ready to throw it out the window this weekend. I was working, like walking around the stadium all game. And at the end of like 3 nights in a row, it told me I have 29 out of 30 minutes of exercise. The games were like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
I was livid. That's a side note. I would never pay to walk up the head of a roller coaster. I'd rather just ride the roller coaster. Mm-hmm. Like, think about how much time was wasted just walking up. Unless they're like showing you like historical facts about every ride that you can see, maybe that aspect would be kind of cool. But like, if you're just doing it to do it, just ride the roller coaster. No?
Yeah, I mean, I think the context behind this... Sorry, and I apologize to our listeners in advance. The article was poorly written. So it had the capability. So they got stuck at the tallest point, but they had the capability of going down the roller coaster without having to, worry about like trying to just precariously go down. But it's still a scary thought, because the ride here, the quote, the ride, meaning the walk, the big one, is harnessed, hard hat, all this stuff, whereas the people who rode it walked down with none of those safety precautions at all. So I just think that it's scary to think that you get stuck the world's tallest, the second tallest roller coaster, and have to walk it down. But then additionally, it's even a weirder story that people charge to walk it. And it's right now the tickets are £65 per person to that.
Yep. I'm gonna need that exchange rate.
Let's see. $91, almost $92 to walk up the world's tallest roller coaster.
What?
92.
That's like I wouldn't even pay that much to get into the amusement park.
I wouldn't do that either. That's dumb.
That's a scam. Listen, why? That's worse than that city in Japan you spend $200,000 on a giant squid statue. Let's put that in perspective right there.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our final segment for the first half of our show today. We are bringing back another popular one. It is called What's the Word? Again, a little bit of follow-up for everybody what the heck this is. This was inspired by the wonderful friends over at the Try Guys, because we're best friends. Anybody's the best friends with the Try Guys. What one of the Try Guys, his name's Eugene, what he does is he goes on a random word generator and he clicks and boom, shows up a word, and then they interpret, what's the word, they interpret it, they talk about it during the segment, and it goes on for a very long time. So we're going to save you guys the earache of just doing it for the last part of the segment. So as always, I always ask Matt, how many clicks will I take for the first word, and what's the word?
27.
Oh my God. So here we go. Count with me, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I swear to God, Matt, if this is I haven't even looked at it yet. If this is a bad word, you're going to click the next time. So
the first word. I just looked at the Yankee thing and I was like, hey, 27. That works.
27 up, 27 down. First word, Matt. Mixture.
Mixture. You know what I'm excited for?
Here, let me have it.
My dad got my mom a Margaritaville, blender drink maker for Mother's Day, and we're just gonna mix everything. I mean, it's not just margaritas. You could put any liquid, and it shaves the ice for you and makes your own alcoholic slushy. Oh, dude, I'm so pumped. My
mom's on the drink talk on her TikTok, and she's seeing all these mixed drinks that she made. So for Mother's Day, she took a Corona, she took tequila, and she took a couple other things. And it looked like a fruity drink to me, but it's tequila, like a Corona and all that.
Corona Sunrise or something like that.
Yeah, I think
it's like a margarita, and then I think it's it looks red orangey, like a sunset.
Yes,
Corona Sunset, I think is what it's called.
Corona
and then you pour the Corona on top. I have seen that.
Yeah, it's a Corona Sunrise.
I know. Go ahead.
Grenadine?
Grenadine, yeah.
Grenadine?
It's like a red raspberry, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Corona. Just a touchy subject, Pastor. Corona beer actually isn't that bad. If we're diving into that.
Yeah, give or take. I mean, I've only had it twice, and it was a sip worthy drink. I'm able to sip through it. If someone handed it to me in party, be like, here, enjoy. I could sip through it without disgusting myself.
It definitely one that I wouldn't drink all day, but I could have one or two.
Rona. On to the next one. Manual.
What the heck was I putting to? Oh, speaking of work, I went into work early, 45 minutes early.
What a good guy.
I had to put together one of those Fisher Price cars, the plastic red and yellow ones.
Shut the front door.
It took me an hour and 15 minutes. That manual was so bad. The directions were awful. I got the door on, I got the hood on, it got to the tires, and I lost it. It was like a war zone. I was in shambles. It was awful. I had no idea what I was doing. Then, my manager came in. We couldn't figure it out. We were looking up YouTube videos and everything. Companies need to make their manuals better. They just do. It was a really terrible experience.
A bachelor's and a master's can improve you to build a Fisher Price truck.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
It was a bad look.
Especially it was my third day back, and I was like, yeah, I can do this. And she came back, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Could you imagine your performance review when you come in being like, look, Matt, we evaluated your work. You need to start learning how to put together toys.
The worst part is they were putting one together upstairs. They were done in 20 minutes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So
no, it was the manual. It was the manual. It was the manual. It was very bad.
It was the manual. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything comes to mind when I say the word manual. I guess I've been shooting. I've been a little lazy lately with photography a little bit. A little guilty as charged. I always put on shutter priority or aperture priority. And what that means is it's almost automatic, but not as automatic. But I've been shooting in manual a little bit more, and I've been sticking with it. Sometimes I forget I'm in manual, and that kind of hinders my progress. But I've been enjoying my time being in manual again, because that's how we were taught back in college, was how to shoot in manual. So I like it.
Life of a communications major.
Oh yes. Next one, Matt. Waterfall.
Waterfall. Great game.
Rick, yes, that's
Great
the first
game.
that came to mind. It's where, well, first it's part of a card game, right? Or is the name of the card game called Waterfall?
No, Waterfall is like a game you play like if you're depending on like what card you get.
Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's the card game. It's Waterfall,
Right.
but it's and then you all drink around and you follow the person next to you, and when they put their drink down, so really the first person who starts is good. The last person who ends it is screwed. So
if you're last, especially if there's like 6 people, it gets a little challenging.
hopefully you have a beer or drink that you can suck down for a little bit. So
Yep.
Next one. Application.
I got nothing to you.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Next one. Compartment.
Nope.
How about those hidden compartments that you find every now and then, whether that's like a jacket or like a box or, like a toolbox or a fridge or like a desk. Like you find those hidden compartments and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's
a nice surprise, especially when you buy something and then like once you put it together or like once it's ready, then you find it. That's even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all these compartments. Next one. Different.
I think being different is shamed upon. I think it's underrated. I think being different is kind of cool. I think different is like shows that you're not afraid to be you.
Yeah. I got a haircut last Friday, and the lady at the hairstylist has always tried to convince me that I should get a different style. And I'm like, like that, no, like maybe not. And then like this Friday, I'm like, I'm going to trust you now. It's just like, you literally made my week. And I'm like, you're just cutting my hair. So yeah, she gave my usual, but she did a fade. You can't see it on the YouTube video, let alone the audio. But she did a little fade, and you can't tell the difference, but I like that she was able to do it.
I love, like, the first time I got like this kind of like hairstyle, I was in like junior year. I just used to shave my head. Now I actually have hair. I was nervous because like trying something different, especially with the hairstyle, it is really weird. But like when it comes out good, like it's like really, there's no better feeling in the world like the feeling you have after a really good haircut. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I could solve world peace after a good haircut. I could do anything.
Yeah, when the stylist comes in, because usually I go like about every month. I always want to get a 3 on the top, and like she starts cutting and she goes, "Are you sure you want a 3?" I said, "You're already in my hair." I said, "I can't really go back now." Like,
good point. Yeah, that'd be a little dicey.
Yeah. So we'll do 2 more, Matt.
Sounds good.
Duck.
You know how people always complain that like every time they try to spell the F word on Apple, it autocorrects the duck?
Yeah.
Mine just stopped doing it. And I don't really type. I don't type the F word that often.
Really, Matt?
No, I don't. No, I don't. But like I feel like it just like stopped.
Yeah, I end up. I keep it that way. Like I don't try to like autocorrect. I don't try to correct myself in spelling it the right way. I just say ducking or duck, and I just leave it at that because people know what that means. You know what came first to my mind when I saw the word duck?
What?
Hugh Neutron's obsession for ducks in Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
How the hell was that the first thing you thought of? That's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't know.
I forgot that was a real thing. But
hey there,
wow.
Sugar Booger.
Wow, that just came out of nowhere. Out of right field.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember the scene of when he was like shining his ducks in the kitchen, and that's that.
Croissant.
I gotta show you a TikTok. It was Carl Weezer trying to be a priest.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
All right, one more for the road. Yeah. Host.
Hostess with the mostest. That's a really cool thing to say, like when you go to a party and you're like, oh, like I knew you'd be a good party. You're the hostess with the mostest. That's a really good compliment.
Or the host with the most, if we're, you know.
Yes, absolutely. I usually always just say hostess with the mostest because it just sounds more funny. I was gonna say funnier, but I don't think funnier is a word.
More funnier. Yeah, I like hosting a good shindig. Like when you have people who's happy. Like I know I always refer back to this, but New Year's Eve when I was spinning the discs with the DJ and it seemed like everyone was having a good time no matter what was playing. Like, yes, I wasn't the host because clearly it wasn't my house, but when you were on that dance floor, also known as the carpet, like you knew you were at a good place. So I was, yeah. Good host just makes everybody else happy and it just makes the event so much better.
It does. And as weird as this sounds, I know it's a lot of work to like host a party or something. I always enjoyed like when my family would host a party at our house rather than like going to one of my aunt and uncles. I don't know why. It just feels like so much like, I guess it's more satisfaction like you had a good party or a good cookout or whatever it was. I just like hosting things. I don't know why.
I can't disagree with you. Yeah, so host with the most, unless you're a podcast host, then you're host with the audio roast.
Yep.
There we go. Spitting rhymes.
Nailed
all
it.
The time. Nailed it. Well, that concludes another edition of What's the Word? If you have any words that we would like to try to figure out or try to think of what first comes to our mind, let us know on our social media. When we come back, it's Matt's turn. You don't want to go anywhere. Let's say you start a podcast or you're running your own side hustle and have a bunch of links that you want your audience to know about. As a podcast, Matt and I have all of our social media, all of our podcast links, and other important things. Make it easier for your followers to find your important links, social media, and latest content by having it all in one page with solo.to. I'll be honest, I have used similar websites like this, but nothing compares to solo.to. All of your links are clean and easy to navigate. Have an upcoming video? It's really easy to make those changes. Plus, solo.to has opportunities to upgrade to include more customization, advanced analytics, and so much more. Solo.to is giving us a special opportunity for you to get 10% off if you create an account and upgrade. Be sure to go to solo.to/funnybusiness to create your account today. Solo.to, it's the way to go. Do you think, Matt, people are tired of hearing our Anchor ad?
Yeah, probably. But let's be honest, if it wasn't for Anchor, we would not be doing a podcast.
You're right, Matt. Once again, we have to thank Anchor for helping us continue to make each episode. Y'all know how it works. Anchor is free. It's easy to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and distributes your podcast to platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And you all know that you can make money too, even with the first couple episodes that you start with.
So why haven't you started your own podcast yet? Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
So, Mike, when do you think we'll stop talking about Anchor?
Oh, man, Matt. You know what? To be completely honest, I think we'll be talking about this for a long time.
Okay, let's slide into the sports segments we have for you all today. We are going to start with the hottest news in sports for maybe the past week and a half, 2 weeks. If you haven't heard, the Kentucky Derby happened a few weekends ago. Medina Spirit was the winner, and it was the trainer Bob Baffert's 7th time winning the Kentucky Derby, which I believe set the record. However, huge controversy. Medina Spirit tested positive for steroids. Now, the way they do the test, they break it up into like 2 different labs. So, I believe so the first test came back positive. The second one came back negative. So right now, Churchill Downs, who runs the Kentucky Derby, they banned the trainer, and now it's big scrutiny over the horse testing positive for steroids. The Preakness is the next leg of the Triple Crown. They have just announced that they are going to allow Medina Spirit to race on Saturday. So your thoughts on that?
I think it's just weird that we're looking at not like the idea that I guess I don't know what to call it, but like the idea that we're scrutinizing a horse and like the horse isn't the one to inject steroids.
Well, I mean, the horse took the steroids, so let's not totally blame the human.
But the horse just doesn't have like a side of steroids to the side, like, you know, like when we take steroids, if we ever did, not that we don't.
All the time, dude.
This muscle,
all the time.
This muscle is 100% natural. I find it so challenging to like. I like that there's more scrutiny over the trainers than there is the horse. But like it seems that when it's always the headlines, it's always Medina Spirit, Medina Spirit, Medina Spirit. But I think the only reason behind that is because that's the only way we know we're talking about the horse. If we say anything else, the trainers, who they are, would probably be like, who the heck is that? Oh, that's the trainer from Medina Spirit.
Well, Medina Spirit is the one that won the Kentucky Derby.
I get that.
Like, well, the jockey's there too. So the reason that they're saying it tests positive for steroids, I believe Bob Baffert said that Medina Spirit had dermatitis, and they were rubbing an ointment on Medina Spirit to clear it up. Here's the thing, though. This guy's a longtime trainer. He's won 7 Kentucky Derbies. I think you know what ointment to use, what ointment not to use, and you'd probably know, hey, this one's got some steroids. Maybe let's give it to Medina Spirit. And also after the race, he kept saying like, oh man, I really didn't think we were going to have a chance to win this. And that comes out that your horse tested positive for steroids. It's not the first time he's had a horse test positive for steroids. So I think this guy's very shady.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that also brings up a question like, has he not given steroids to his past 6 winners then?
Who knows?
Like, that's a bigger question to ask.
Yeah. Or is Medina Spirit just addicted to steroids? We don't know.
We don't know.
Stay woke. Speaking of a horse that has done steroids to someone who will never probably ever look at steroids in his life, big football news. Mike, I am very irked by this news, so I'm interested to see your take. So, if you haven't heard, Jacksonville Jaguars have signed Tim Tebow.
Nice.
To play for the Jaguars, not as a quarterback, because I know some of you might be asking, well, Matt, you just were talking about a couple weeks ago that the Jaguars just drafted Trevor Lawrence to be their new quarterback. They signed Tim Tebow to be a tight end. And this is just bullshit.
It's weird. I thought Tim Tebow was just done with football, if I'm being completely honest.
I know it shouldn't. It makes me so mad that he got signed, because just think about the past 2 drafts and the past 2 college football seasons have been so different because of COVID. And now these guys are leaving college, trying to make an NFL roster as a tight end. Maybe they're trying to convert from a linebacker to a tight end, or from an offensive lineman to a tight end. And they can't get a shot because a washed-up 33-year-old Tim Tebow, who has no tight end experience, is now playing tight end in the NFL.
It's all the hype, and I think that's all that is to it. Like, it's just the hype of, okay, we're signing Tim Tebow. Because I hate to say it, you look at it from a business perspective, too. I mean, you look at it athletically from a business perspective, but you're also looking at it from a popularity business perspective. Like, only reason why the AAA Mets were so popular was because Tim Tebow was part of the AAA Mets. Like, no reason behind. Like, the same thing when Derek Jeter went to the Rail Riders. Like, everyone flocked the stadium, not because it's a Rail Riders game, but because Derek Jeter was at the Rail Riders. So yeah, I think it's just more of a popularity stint, but I'm curious to see how it goes.
Do you really think people are going to buy Jacksonville Jaguars tickets to watch Tim Tebow play tight end?
No, they're going to watch it to buy. Lost his name. What the hell is his
Trevor
name?
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. says how much I consider a first round draft pick to be that popular.
He has not played in the NFL since 2015.
Yeah.
And not to get like super into this topic, but this is another how do I want to phrase this? It's another not jab, for the people that complain that Colin Kaepernick never gets another chance, and 6 years later Tim Tebow gets a chance as another position in the NFL after he had a failed NFL career and a failed minor league baseball career. Not a good look. Now, I will say, so he is reuniting with Urban Meyer, who is the coach of Jacksonville, who was his coach in college. That part I get. And I know there's a lot of people saying he's going to be a great mentor to Trevor Lawrence, and he's going to be a great mentor to the team. To that, I say, make him a coach.
Yeah. Make him an assistant coach, yeah.
He doesn't have to be taking up a roster spot. I don't know why. I just saw that news and I just got like so mad. So mad. A very nice guy. Nothing against Tim Tebow at all. Very nice guy. Also has to have the greatest life ever if you can fail as a quarterback, fail as a baseball player, and still be a professional athlete. That's got to be kind of cool.
So then we should all just try out to be a professional athlete then, because they don't care about any success. They just care about just a roster spot.
Did you see there is a wide receiver, DK Metcalf? He just tried to qualify for the Olympics in the 100-meter dash.
Yes.
He did pretty. He didn't qualify. I think he finished 9th in his heat and like 15th overall. But he ran like a 10-7 100-yard dash, which is really impressive. Mm-hmm. Moving on, our final topic for the day. Mike, we are, as of today, this recording on Tuesday, we are 1 week away from NBA playoffs kind of starting with the play-in tournament that we've talked about. So what I wanted to do quick is, before the playoffs start, there's a lot of big storylines that could happen in the playoffs. So let's talk about some of them, talk about our thoughts on them. So let's start with the big story is still the Lakers. Right now they are scheduled to play the Warriors in the first game of the play-in tournament. They kicked the Suns' ass last weekend, which I had a stay woke that I was telling you about. That was my stay woke. So I'll save that for when we get a little bit later. But LeBron is coming back this week. Do we think they can be healthy enough or have the chemistry enough to make a long playoff run?
I don't think so. I hate to be that person, but just the drama and the stress and just how unusual this season is, I don't see that, but I would happily be proved wrong based on that.
I want to agree with you, but it just feels like every year, like with LeBron's teams, it's like a week before the playoffs, everyone starts like panicking. And then he gets in the playoffs and we forget he's LeBron James and he just does his own thing. Mm-hmm. The play-in, if he plays the Warriors in the play-in game with Steph Curry, because Steph is like leading the league in scoring, that game is going to be so fun.
Yeah. Intense to the degree.
A little bit. Let's just start with the West. So right now, Clippers Trailblazers would be a first round series, which Paul George and Damian Lillard have had some scuffles in the past.
Oh. I can only think about when he was on the Thunder and he was on the Trailblazers and he literally just called game when he literally just shot the shot right in Paul George's face. That was great. I loved it.
And then Paul George afterwards said it was a bad shot after he made it.
After he made it.
So let's focus on the Clippers. Obviously, the big story is going to be playoff PP.
Playoff PP.
Paul George. He's probably the player in all the playoffs with the most pressure on him this season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, because didn't he not have the opportunity to play during the bubble?
I believe he did.
He did.
Yeah, I forget who. Kyrie didn't play. Yeah. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. But no, I believe he did play bad in the bubble.
Yeah, as much as an unusual season it is, I feel like this gives time for the players to reset. So, of course, there is going to be a lot of pressure on him because he left the Thunder to join a team that he was hoping to make the playoffs with. So, I wouldn't say he has all the stress, but I think he has a significant amount of stress.
I think he's actually having like a really low-key, like really good season. And I feel like people are just brushing it off because he hasn't played well in the playoffs, which is fair.
Right. But
he's also really playing, like he's carrying the Clippers because Kawhi's missed a few games. He's really taking them to the next level. And then I think the biggest question in the West right now would probably be the Jazz and the Suns. The top two teams, I feel like people are just kind of like tossing them aside, but they literally have the best record in the NBA. what are our thoughts? Like, if they go up against the Lakers or the Clippers, do you think they would have enough firepower to beat them?
Oh, that's tough.
Because they've been playing. The Jazz are 50-19, and the Suns are 48-20.
Oh, yeah. I want to say no. They don't have the firepower, but the record shows that they clearly do. So I think what really is going to boil down to it is playoff, playoff mentality and playoff IQ, I guess is the best way to call it. Like
experience,
playoff experience, like game situations, all that. I think that's the only thing that's going to hinder them from that. Now, granted, the Jazz and Phoenix has certainly had their playoff opportunity, but has not made the run like we would expect them to make it all the way.
Yeah, I mean, as a Suns fan, I'm definitely biased. I do feel like I'm not gonna lie. I would be shocked if they made the NBA Finals. Like, I'm gonna be realistic.
Yeah.
I'm more confident in them in the Suns than Utah. But my stay woke. So the Suns got their ass kicked by the Lakers. LeBron did not play. Anthony Davis had like 42, went off. I think the Suns lost that game on purpose. And here's my theory.
What's your theory?
So right now, if the Lakers win the play-in tournament, they play the Suns in the first round, which I don't think the Suns want to do, especially since LeBron's coming back this week. They are a game behind Portland for the 6th seed, and Portland has a very tough schedule. So if the Lakers can somehow jump the Blazers for the 6th seed, that would put them against the Clippers or the Nuggets, and the Suns would bypass them till the second round. Meaning, if they play like the Clippers, if the Clippers Lakers play in the first round of playoffs, that's going to be crazy. But that's huge for Utah and Phoenix because it knocks one of them out.
Right.
So I think the Suns lost that game on purpose.
Interesting. I like the theory.
Yes, very, very interesting theory. Let's move to the East. One of the hottest teams right now, people don't realize, is the Wizards, which we should probably mention Russell Westbrook real quick.
He's been on social media a lot this week.
Did you see what he did last night?
He passed, was it Oscar Robertson for the most triple doubles of all time in an NBA career?
He did. He has
that's ridiculous.
183. I've been on the record not being a big Westbrook fan. However, I've decided I'm going to respect him more because you're right. That's just absolutely insane because that record held for 47 years. And you can talk about this more than I can because you actually played high school basketball. How hard is it, people might not realize, to actually get a triple-double?
So a triple-double, I'm glad you asked that. A triple-double is when you get 3 stat lines over 10. So you can have 10 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds. Now, I would say it is easier to get a double-double because you're scoring at least 10 points, given that you may be a center or a point forward or a point guard. But then the second one, rebounds are good. But then the third time is like, okay, so what other stat line can you stuff? And usually it is assists. So as a small forward or a forward, like that is challenging to some degree. As a point guard, you want to get assists, but 10 assists sometimes is kind of crazy in some scenarios. And then you have steals and blocks, which, I mean, in NBA 2K, I always go for the steals because my guy's stat line for steals is just out of the chart. But then, yeah, it's very challenging. And then also Westbrook, when he had his MVP season, he averaged a triple-double every game. So it's something to feature at least that, and I feel like there's not enough credit towards him as far as him achieving this.
I actually think he's averaged triple-double each of the past 4 seasons. Right now, he's averaging 22, 11, 11. 22 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. His stat line, he's not like he's just getting like 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Last night, he played 40 minutes. He had 28 points, 13 rebounds, 21 assists.
21?
Absolutely.
So that's even more
and he's
insane.
playing, here are the starters he played with: Raul Neto, Rui Hachimura, what's that guy? I don't even know who that guy is. Garrison Matthews, never seen that guy before, and Alex Len, who's a bum.
I have no idea who all those guys are.
Exactly. They played the Hawks yesterday without Bradley Beal, and Westbrook almost made a 3-pointer to win the game. I'm still I don't think you could win a championship with Russell Westbrook, but top 5 point guard of all time, maybe.
Say that, yeah.
I wouldn't take him over Chris Paul, but he's the most athletic point guard in NBA history, and that's just kind of cool. Let's see, what else we want to talk about? Oh, let's talk about the Sixers. Probably going to be the top seed in the East. Buy or sell? Can they make
Sell.
a playoff run? Yeah, I feel about them the same way I feel about Milwaukee. With Giannis in the playoffs, teams are going to crowd the paint.
Yeah.
So Giannis and Simmons aren't going to have a lot of room to score inside. I just have a hard time buying stock in them.
Stonks.
Yeah, it's stonks. And then finally, let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know how many games the big three, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden have played together. Now, Harden hasn't played in a month. Yeah. And Brooklyn's now lost like 4 or 5. Kind of the same thing, a question I'll ask you with the Lakers. If all 3 of them are healthy, they're probably the best team in the NBA. But we haven't seen them play together a lot. So is it enough time if Harden comes back to make a deep playoff run?
Yeah, I think the chemistry is going to be the big question when it comes towards that, because you both have Durant and Kyrie, who's played a significant amount of time with each other. And then there's James Harden. I almost said Russell Westbrook. Which is hilarious because besides Kyrie, both Kevin Durant and James Harden have played with Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
I think you're just better off just keeping him on the sideline instead of trying to implement him. I know it's a
That's
hot
a hot
take,
wow, that came out of nowhere.
That's a hard take.
Wow.
Yeah, but you have a team that's vibing. Why try to throw in somebody who hasn't vibed with them yet?
Because it's James Harden.
Okay, but you're already making...
No, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
You are already having success with both Kyrie and Durant. So, okay, then how many players in the East? How many teams in the East have 2 star players? They usually only have 1. They have a subpar player, and then they have the star player. Nets have 2 star players. The third one is just kind of a token, if I'm being completely honest.
I don't know about that. I think you're disrespecting James Harden.
Oh my, James.
Remember, he's not fat anymore.
He's not.
But I mean, if you have all 3 of them on the court at the same time, who do you guard?
But then again, from I hate to bring this up, but like you look at LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Like, yes, did they win a championship? They did. But were they shut down when they had it their first season? Yes. They were beat by the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay, but they made the finals 4 straight years in a row.
4 straight years in a row. I get that. But the first time all 3 of them were playing each other, they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in the finals.
So you're saying if it would have been like LeBron and Chris Bosh that they would have won because they had 3 stars, they didn't win?
It's just because of the chemistry. What I'm trying, I know that model doesn't fit with the model I'm trying to explain, but the 3 of them played on the same team for the first time that year and they lost. This is the first time Harden, Durant, and Irving are playing for the first time in the season as a team.
So, but the last 5 games are 1-4.
And then you also have Blake Griffin too.
Who can't play defense?
Who can't play defense? Like,
that's a hot. Wow, I'm proud of you. That was awesome. I did not see that coming.
I can't wait for the comments.
If I had to pick a team, if I had to put money on a team right now to make it out of the East, I'd probably pick Brooklyn. And if I had to put money on a team to make the NBA Finals out of the West, I think I'd pick the Clippers. Surprisingly.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the Clippers. Let people also forget who was a big part of the Lakers run last year.
Rajon.
Guess what team he plays for? The Clippers. So playoff Rondo is something different.
Playoff Rondo is something different.
Oh, man. Well, that concludes the sport topics we have for you all today. It is time for Say What? I believe I went first last week. So if you all pretty much know how this is, safe space. So, Mike, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, pal. I appreciate
You are welcome.
I appreciate that offering.
I appreciate your appreciation.
I appreciate your appreciation of my
appreciation. That's
enough. All right, my first one. Actually, Matt, flip a coin, heads or tails. Just say whatever.
Tails.
Okay. My first say what is toxic cyber environments. So Matt and I have clearly experienced some toxicity when we're playing Rocket League and Fortnite.
Oh, I hate it.
TikTok and Twitter. Sometimes it goes off the deep end a little bit and it gets a little wrong. I mean, I'll be completely honest. Yeah, we got to put up the fight for a fight, but I just want to play, man. Like, I don't need the what a save, or I don't need the, you know, the teabagging as it was back in Call of Duty where they crouched on you a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's funny, but it's toxic.
It is
very toxic. Like,
I get mad in Rocket League when someone would have saves me. Like I legit get in a bad mood. Like it's not like when you would like teabag someone in like Call of Duty or something. Sometimes that's funny. Sometimes when you want to save someone in Rocket League, it is never funny ever.
Because what do we immediately say? Okay, next time we're what is saving them. Because
exactly.
That's what gets the toxic environment. And yeah, we could be the bigger people. Here's a bunch of 25-year-olds talking about a video game. We're trying to be the bigger people here. We're trying to be the bigger people and not say something, but they keep going and they keep going and they keep going and they keep going. And then at the end, they just literally flail it out like they're in no man's business. Like it's tough. And I'm okay with some nice, like, I'm okay when the opposite team says nice shot. Like, we do that a lot. Like, we say nice shot because really it was a nice shot. We could but those who say nice shot when there was a shot that wasn't intended and like they were trying to, that's toxicity right there.
Yeah, I get like Rocket League toxicity really gets me more than like Fortnite or like once in a while when I play Warzone. That's just because I suck at all video games, but that's beside the point. Like when you see toxicity on Twitter, sometimes that can be entertaining. Rocket League toxicity just gets me angry.
Which I think that's the problem that we have. It becomes entertaining and not wrong. And I think that's what keeps it on, is the fact that it becomes entertaining rather than it's wrong. And not saying that, like, not saying we're in the wrong for having it be entertaining, but reality being, it's wrong.
And it's also different because in Rocket League, especially because like on Twitter, you can kind of get a vibe of like someone else's vibe Sarcasm. Based on the way they're texting, or like if you see all their tweets, you can see they're being funny or not. Rocket League, it's the same for everyone, and you don't know,
right?
And that's the thing that really gets you.
That's the worst part.
Yes, it is. All right, my first one. I'm going to sound very hypocritical here.
Yeah, I'm ready.
And I'm not proud of it because you all know I don't like this person and his brother. However, Logan Paul did something funny. Yeah. He did something funny.
I did the Floyd Money Mayweather. I got your hat.
Yeah, I got your hat. That was hysterical. When you got your hat, that's like the best thing you could do because it always gets a reaction from the person. Always. Like, it's just a classic, oh, got your hat. And Floyd got pissed and he like went at him. It was hysterical. I hate myself for laughing at it, but it was just one of the funniest videos of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the Paul brothers have asserted themselves into the world of fighting, but like, I think that just goes to show that we've been trying to get them to fight just so they can get punched in the face after all the shit that they've done in the past. But they've been doing okay holding their own. I mean, yeah, we've talked about some things about, Logan Paul Logan or Jake that fought recently against the boxer.
I think Jake fought recently, but
I think Jake.
Logan is fighting Floyd
Mayweather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jake Jake, fought against a boxer, but in reality being like, yeah, they've been holding their own. I have to say that. Yeah, no, if that's to say what, like they've been holding their own, unfortunately.
If Floyd Mayweather takes this fight seriously, like people don't understand how bad he is going to kick Logan Paul's ass. I've said it before. He's one of the greatest defensive boxers in history. Like he knows how not to get punched. And I mean, Logan's done okay. Granted, he went up against like Nate Robinson and he was god awful. But I'm very excited for Floyd Mayweather to knock out Logan Paul. And I think as a society, if that happens, I said it again, we should just stop mentioning them.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show like not the David and Goliath, but more so that once they find their maker, they're going to stop. Like, and they're going to keep crawling and crawling. Like they're not immediately going for Conor McGregor. Or they're going for, Nate Diaz. Is that another guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're not going for like the ones that could totally kick your ass. They're going for the ones that, so they're like working their way up and they're going to find their limit. And I hate to say it, I really hope Floyd Mayweather is the limit.
I hope so too. I'm probably going to buy it, unfortunately, just because I have no life. And like, it would be kind of cool to watch Logan Paul get knocked out live. And then after that fight, if Logan Paul loses, I will make it my goal to never say his name on the podcast again. And if I do, we'll bleep it.
Bleep the entire conversation. Poor people are going to be like, stop.
Well, we'll just mention his name and it'll just be a bleep and we're like, oh, sorry, that's a slip up.
We should do like a horn, like,
yes, yeah, that's perfect.
All right, this one sounds weird. Socks.
Oh, okay.
I hate socks. Not the fact of wearing them, how long they last. I kid you not, I probably had to throw out 4 pairs of socks within the last couple days because there was holes in them. Now, granted, I'm a guy that usually if there's a little hole in it, I don't throw it out.
Same.
But I've been ridiculed a couple times of my sock, what do you call it? My sock collection, as far as there's holes being in them. And then once I didn't want to say ridiculed. I was basically said, oh, well, Matt's checking his socks right now.
I think I have a hole in my sock right now. I'm not going to lie.
I do. Check too.
Yeah, I have a ripped sock.
Mine's the cool ones. That's my leg.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the right. Mine's the
okay. Yeah, those are cool. What kind of socks we talk about? Like dress socks or like Nike socks? Just or Nike. All of them?
All. Period.
Okay.
Like I've been better off with Nike socks. But I remember I had Calvin Klein socks. I was pulling them up, and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, yeah. And I've only had these for months. Like, they're not like a year's worth of socks. Like, they're for months. And I don't know, man. Like, I've just gotten into the whole laundry thing of like washing like my nice clothes, like in the cold wash and like a delicate wash. And yeah, it's more like detergent and whatnot, but whatever. Like, it's good for my clothes, and I don't have to buy more clothes. And I went to the Men's Warehouse store for the first time this week, and it was really nice. So
I've never been in there.
It's nice. Like, yeah. Super helpful. Super helpful. So I got new khakis. So
awesome. I have cabin socks for the winter, like the brand cabin socks. Yeah. Like I wear them for the whole winter, and then they're shot. Like they just break and rip. It's awful.
We need to invent socks that have better durability.
Yeah. Like underwear.
If we literally can make shirts that don't rip, you can make socks that don't rip.
Underwear.
Yeah.
How many times do you actually see a hole in your underwear? Not often.
Not often.
Why don't they make socks like that?
MeUndies, get on that.
MeUndies, they do make socks. Yeah, I don't have any actually. That's a good idea. Put that on my list. All right, my last one. I don't fully understand what I'm about to say, or the what, how do I phrase this? I don't understand the item I'm about to say. Yes.
Is it NFT?
Yes.
I don't either.
NFTs are so stupid, and I don't understand why people buy them. That being said, I have no idea how they work. But like, people just make like thousands and thousands of dollars off NFTs, and I just don't understand it.
So the worst part is NFT. I was introduced to that as our Now for Tomorrow campaign, and it was short for NFT. So that's all I think about when I see NFT. I'm like, oh, Now for Tomorrow. I'm like, no, it's this damn cryptocurrency. Yeah, I see it happen all the time, and I'm like, there's no point to it. Like literally no point to this cryptocurrency. It is a do you know the name of it actually? Like what fungible token. It's a digital asset. So you're literally buying something that's completely digital. I mean, like all cryptocurrencies, but I don't know, man. Like again, the volatility of both Dogecoin. Like, did you see?
Well, that's going to the moon.
Did you see? So. Well, no. Did you see when Elon Musk hosted Saturday Night Live?
Yeah,
it took a major dip.
Yeah, that was awesome. Which, by the way, Elon was hysterical.
Oh my god, he was amazing.
He was. I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was going to be bad. He was really funny.
They need more like him on the show.
Yeah, but like we talked about with the sport NFTs when that happened. What's the point of them?
Isn't it weird? We were talking about them for a little bit, and we're like, these are just weird. What are your highlights? And now it's like this big thing where people are just buying. It's literally like a screensaver. You buy a screensaver for your computer. This is basically what it is.
Yeah, not the Jake Paul. Bleep that. He made like $5 million. No, I said the other one. The other one. Yeah. He made like $5 million this past weekend because he did like the largest Pokemon unboxing, which by the way, those are awesome. I love watching them. And he made like his own like Pokemon Jake Paul card and made like $5 million off it. It's dumb. This can't be like a thing of the future, is it? Like I feel like it's going to be like Dogecoin, which I don't own Dogecoin. I shouldn't bring that up. Dogecoin's going to the moon. If you own Dogecoin, you're probably smarter than I am. But like it's got a tank in like 6 months.
I just think it's just a popular thing. Like, you always remember like every year we do a year in review. Like NFTs are going to be one of those things that's a year in review and no one's going to care about them anymore. Like, unfortunately, Fall Guys, like that was a game like in 2020 that like was nice and hip, but now no one cares about it anymore. Among Us, I hate to say it, but even that
like that new map came out like a month ago and like no one really played it. That being said, if we are able to make money off of Funny Business NFT, I'm totally doing it. Like if I can make a profit off it, I will be a hypocrite. I don't mind saying that.
Yeah,
How do you even make them? How do you sell them? How do you buy them?
Just design. Literally, I don't know if you did. I don't know if you saw where my eyes were looking, but I googled NFT and literally it says crypto.com NFT marketplace for digital works. You basically, I guess, design them and you upload them and let's see here. At a very high level, most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dogecoin, but the blockchain also supports these NFTs, which store extra information that makes them work differently from, say, an ETH coin. It is worth noting that other blockchains. Okay, what's worth picking up at the NFT supermarket? So like sorry, we're figuring this out as we work along here, folks.
Yes.
Do people? I'm trying to read. This is from The Verge. A lot of the conversation about NFTs as an evolution of fine art collecting. So you're just buying. It's like you go to a museum and you buy art, but you're buying it digitally now. Like, it's like, I'll take that painting. Like,
do you use like Bitcoin and Dogecoin, or do you use your real money?
I believe
I feel like it's probably just real money.
It's a cryptocurrency. Trade one for another Bitcoin. So like a Bitcoin is a fungible. So like you buy NFTs with your cryptocurrency.
Got it.
Think about it. It's kind of like our economy right now. Like you buy stuff with cash or you buy stuff with credit or debit. NFTs, you buy stuff with crypto, you get that crypto with the
Got it. I also don't understand cryptocurrency. That being said, if I ever get into one, I'm totally buying Dogecoin. I'm all in on Dogecoin.
Yeah. I mean,
the thing about Dogecoin, it's just cool. Like people be like to the moon and like you can interact and tweet it. Like I just want the interactions. Like that's just a cool community.
And I like that Dogecoin is a corgi.
It's the best.
It's a corgi. So yeah, it's been really interesting, Matt. I'm glad you brought that up because I have no freaking idea either what the heck's an NFT.
I can't wait in like 6 months for everyone to like lose all their money on NFTs. Then we're going to be the smart people in the room.
And then think about it. GameStop. Remember how much GameStop stock raised? Is anybody talking about it anymore? No.
But was it cool to see everybody tweet like, hold? Yeah. That was fun.
Yes, it was. But again, this is this year in review. Like, yeah, it's cryptocurrency. So, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt.
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk about it for a long time.
Stonks. Doge.
Stonks are the best.
Stonks are the best. To the moon. And to that concludes another episode of the Funny Business Podcast. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button on the YouTubes. If you haven't followed us already, follow us on the Bookface, the Twitter, and the Gram Insta. You can find all of that at solo.to/funnybusiness. We live stream every 2 weeks. We try our best. We make most of it, if not all of it. Make sure you stop by, say hello. Matt, what do you got going on? Anything good to share with the world of the Funny Business Podcast?
I am really looking forward to golfing a lot this year because I'm doing pretty good on the range, at least. We are gonna be golfing at one point this year. Maybe we'll film a little bit of it.
Gosh, that'd be great. Yeah, I got a couple days to work with. So
yeah, I'm ready.
Oh man, yeah. Make sure you tell someone that you love them.
Yep.
Congratulations to all college graduates, whether you're graduating this past weekend, this weekend, next weekend. Hopefully that $134,000 piece of paper somewhere around there is putting to good use. And that you're supporting back your institution through philanthropic giving, no matter if it's once a year or every month or every year. That's my soapbox. So Matt is just completely silent. So because I always bother him for a financial investment to his own alma mater every year. So
I just remembered my loans kick in next month.
We have till September, buddy.
That kind of. Did he? Yeah.
Are you federal or personal?
Yeah.
This is just like a total off-topic conversation.
I gotta look into it. Either way, that was just like a huge heart attack I just had.
I know. I'm kind of like, almost paid off one loan.
Nice. It's better than nothing.
Yeah. Still waiting for my freaking tax return from 2019, and I'm still waiting for the other one this year.
You'll get it.
Damn.
But listen, when that hits in one day, oh man.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna have to pay stuff, and
yeah, but you go take like 200, put it on red.
And that's the final advice for the Funny Business Podcast. And until the next time, we will see you all in the next episode.
Stay safe, everyone.